Question number 4, Phil Twyford.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is for the Minister of Transport. What are the construction start and end dates for each of the 10 bridges that the government has announced that it will upgrade in Northland?
The Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Transport, the government has committed to investing between 32 and 69 million to replace 10 single-lane bridges with modern 2-lane bridges on Northland's Twin Coast Highway over the next 6 years. The first of these bridges likely to be modernised are Kaio, Taipa and Matakoe bridges. Preliminary work on these will begin and construction will start once all design and consenting issues are completed. I'd expect the balance of the projects to follow a similar process, which could be sped up if the members' parties supported our RMA changes.
Supplementary question. Order. Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
When will the last of the bridges be complete? 2030, 2040, 2050?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
On behalf of the Minister of Transport, we are far more ambitious than the Labor opposition, Mr Speaker. Our intention is that they will be completed in the 6-year period, as stated.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
How does he intend to pay for the bridges, given that the New Zealand Transport Agency says the bridges won't even be considered for funding until the 2018-2021 National Land Transport Programme, and that they will need to pass the benefit cost test like any other project?
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Transport, the member needs to upgrade his contacts inside NZTA to get to a better level so he gets better information. 4 of the bridges are already in the Regional Land Transport Plan, and the balance of them will be considered as we move along. And what I say, Mr Speaker, this government has a very proud and strong track record of making funding available for...
Order.
This government has a very strong and proud track record of making funding available for regional projects outside of the National Land Transport Fund.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
Does he stand by the statement of the Minister of Economic Development that, and I quote, "the Northland people were very, very enthusiastic about these projects," unquote? And if so, how does he square that with the fact that 74% of people in Northland said they thought it was a bribe?
Well,
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
On behalf of the Minister of Transport, the member can't come into the House and just give half a story around a TV3 poll, because an overwhelming majority of people in that poll, although they may have expressed that view, also said they thought it was a good idea.
Supplementary question, Phil Twyford.
When he knocked back funding for the proposed Wellington Airport runway extension this morning because of the lack of a comprehensive business case, was he advised that doing so would make him look foolish, having approved 10 new bridges without one?
Well,
Honourable
Speaker,
Jerry Brownlee.
On behalf of the Minister of Transport, it may come as a surprise to Mr Twyford that an airport runway is not a road.
Question number 5. Order. Alfred Naro, question number 5.
Thank you, Mr Speaker.